We know Karen is monitoring the pin, both pins, and when she turned her camera to the street to appear not so intrusive, all she did was take out the shed, because she's still monitoring that pin, which means she still sees my entire house, my bedroom and my living room.
You are not allowed, and if I have to call the cops, I don't give a shit about them. You stay off my side. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do.
I'm putting the camera up, Liz.
I know exactly what you're doing, and I already fucking Facebook posted you would be doing that. I predicted you would do that. You don't want to fucking talk to me, you don't want to see me, but you're going to live over here in this area and be up my ass constantly. You want to stare in my fucking window, come over here and cut these bushes so you can see everything I'm doing. You're a nosy psycho bitch. You're a nosy fucking bitch. You do not get to tell me what to do, and you know what? Go ahead and call the cops like you did in the middle of a fucking ice storm and tell them she was mean. I told her to go inside. You don't get to tell me to go in my fucking house. You don't get to tell me that. Stop telling me what the fuck to do.
I'm not.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay, I'm done.
It's on my fucking camera. You want to say that again? You didn't just tell me that?
No, I said I'm done.
Yeah, you're not done. You're going to do a camera, and you're going to call the cops constantly, because that's what you do. And then you're going to call the cops on the neighbors because their trash cans are too close to your window and it's too loud. And then you're going to call the city because the kids' bus stop's on the fucking corner. Then you're going to call the city because her tree people were blocking your driveway, which they weren't. Then you're going to call the city because you need a fucking bucket of sand because you can't get up the hill. You're a fucking lunatic.
Here to go over the fence line. But her wood and that tire is on my property, so once there's two little pink markers
If you walk from your front door to your car while entering your car, your foot is on the property line, is this more likely to be a trespass for ingress to the neighbor's property or ingress to your own property? And are they weaponizing the property line if they repeatedly file trespass complaints for that specific example? Can that be considered entering their property? Is that entering their property? Almost certainly no. If your foot is only on or near the property line while walking from your front door to your car, you are not entering their property in any legally meaningful way unless you physically cross the boundary. A trespass requires actual physical entry onto another person's land. Being on the line is not trespassing. Being inches over by accident while accessing your car is not still something law enforcement treats as actionable unless it's intentional, repeated, or substantial. Courts interpret trespass narrowly. There must be a clear intentional physical intrusion. A momentary step while entering your car is not that. Ingress toward your property versus ingression to theirs. Your movement is clearly for the purpose of accessing your own home and your own vehicle, from your property to your vehicle, not directed toward using their land in any way. So legally, the intent and direction of movement is toward your own property and your own vehicle, not towards theirs. Intent matters in trespass law. You are not trying to enter their property, you are trying to go to your car. Are they weaponizing the property line? Yes. Repeatedly filing complaints about a trivial, harmless, unavoidable foot placement is classic property line harassment. Weaponizing a property line looks like exaggerating small or non-existent boundary crossing, using law enforcement as a threat, attempting to create a paper trail to harass or intimidate, filing repeating complaints for benign activity, insisting on a standard no normal person count could meet. This is not a legitimate enforcement of property rights. It's a pattern of neighbor harassment, not trespass. Would law enforcement typically consider this trespass? Police almost universally treat this as civil, trivial, and non-actionable. They know walking to your car is unavoidable. Foot on the line does not equal trespassing. A neighbor filing repeated complaints over inches is misusing law enforcement. Trespass has to be clear, intentional, and over the line in a meaningful way. The fact that they're repeatedly reporting this only strengthens the argument that they are misusing the complaint system. They are trying to use the property line as a tool to harass.
They can respectively leave each other alone, and that would be ideal, I think.
Shirley, what's the future of this speaker? Do you think he gets the boot for this?
The only way that he could get the boot is if
For 6 years as neighbors, there have been zero police or issues of any kind until November 17th, 2024. Of note, in 2023, Karen did a live interview on KETV News divulging her medical history in public. And in the same year, I ended our friendship in person and all communication ceased. In March 24, I called her to do a wellness check on a mutual friend, the neighbor, because I was working, but I hung up on her Then we texted. She got mad because I kept saying we talk every single day and dismissed her excuses. He was fine entirely. She said she was not happy about this situation, meaning my friendship with him. She was adamant she couldn't physically go check on him. In this text and going forward, you can't ignore the pattern and theme of jealousy and animosity. Meanwhile, during our no contact, she's actively trying to put a wedge between our mutual friend. She states here how she's upset about how him and I are treating her, emphasizing she's hurt in all caps and how she needs her friends. She requested to go to the hearing via Zoom in December 2024 due to health issues. Of note, the amount of physical effort and intensive labor she has exhibited have never reflected that of someone with medical limitations. There's loads of evidence. Much of her claims have been fabricated and exaggerated. The focus is exploiting and weaponizing the property line, infringing on free speech, and interfering with the legal right I have to access my property quietly and with implied easement by claiming trespass perpetually, property damage, and harassment. It's evident her intention has always been retaliation due to jealousy. She started filing frivolous police reports immediately following that survey, and had it not gone her way, none of this would be possible. This was premeditated and calculated retaliation, weaponization of the property line, because its proximity to my driveway is so close that it's unavoidable not to frequently step over it, as admitted by her verbally on video the day of the survey. Here we have the public restraining order where anyone who was running a background check on me while I was applying for jobs could decline to hire me, because she says here that I put a light up because I know she has functional neurological disorder, which makes her have seizures, and that she's scared of me because I'm an alcoholic who does drugs and I own at least one rifle, and I'm escalating since the dispute of land, which none of this can be proven. That where would you get any of this evidence, and where and what form did I submit a dispute for the land?
It's even farther than what I thought. She only has like 3 or 4 inches.
This statement constitutes a clear and contemporaneous admission that she understood the extremely limited spacing between the property line and my driveway, and recognized that it left little to no room for normal use. Despite that awareness, she proceeds to engage in a sustained pattern of conduct targeting that exact condition, demonstrating not only knowledge of the constraint moments after the surveyor left, but an apparent intent to exploit it.
What do you think? Dumbass, I told her, I said, go in your house. It's my property. Once it's marked, it's mine. So once there's 2 little pink markers, it's mine, right? I am so blessed. I just couldn't believe it. It's even beyond the telephone pole. She barely has enough where her driveway is, honey.
So, in conclusion, what we have is a letter admitting that you want to go back to November when you know that there was nothing prior to that, which we established. And then by December 22nd, the day you mount your camera, you fully admit in writing to a reasonable party, a sheriff, that you put the camera up because you'd been repeatedly harassed and trespassed, which means it obviously had to have been between November 17th, the day you decided to trespass on my property, move my property around, and steal it, and December 22nd, when you mounted the camera, which was 2 days after the survey, so I couldn't have trespassed for 2 days, and in those 2 days, I didn't trespass. There's 0 reports of that. So what you're admitting is that absolutely nothing happened, and you created a giant illusion that you're a humongous victim of repeated harassment and trespass. Is that correct? Are we safe to admit that that's what happened? And everything after that is a complete lie, and you think that you're going to win against me in a court of law when I sue you for using the property line and your spite fence and your camera to continuously harass, threaten, intimidate, and try to control me. Is that what we've established at this point?